Hi and welcome. The purpose of this short video is to give you a sample of what it would be like to take a live course and do it virtually for your team. If that's something that's on your radar and you're thinking, how can we use this time when we're scattered apart or we're not able to come together? How do we do that from a team perspective? Well, one tool that is easy to use are assessments. And to help get a little bit of background with them, I'll give you a snapshot of how you might consider using them, whether you work with us or somebody else. Number one, the first goal of any assessment is to help a team become better or to help an individual to become better. We say it this way: the more we improve individually, the more collectively the team improves. So one of the best places to start is self-improvement for each individual team member that benefits the team overall. Assessments are a great tool for self-knowledge, so you get aware of what you do and why you do it, and then make some intentional decisions about where do I want to enhance or tweak or improve. So if you use an assessment as a tool for that, it's a good start. And then from there, you can look at how does that help the team? How do we use this as a team tool? So we often give a little bit of history on the DiSC. I won't do that here per se, other than to say they've been around a long time, going all the way back to research in the 30s, mainstreamed by the military in the 70s, and then they've been used by, last count I had, over 40 million in the US alone have taken some type of self-assessment or style assessments. We get asked, and so what do they measure? How do they measure? Well, two axes we often use to simplify it, and that's number one, how direct you are in your interactions or communications with others, and how open you are with others. In openness, you might use another word of responsiveness, emotional responsiveness. To clarify that a bit more, the top half measures, are you more a serious person in your demeanor, in your behavior, in your responses to others? Or are you someone who's more emotive and open and you display that to others? So that's one measurement that the assessments measure. Another common one is the left to right. Again, more extroversion, outbound, you get energy around people, or the inbound, more introspective, reflective, you find energy being by yourself or working by yourself. Give me some space, right? So all those come into play with the assessments, and there's lots of versions. I'll give you a couple samples here. So number one, we often will use the inexpensive coin scratch, easy place to start for a low budget, or the more deluxe 20+ page computer generated detailed assessments that take a deeper dive and give you a lot more specific knowledge about yourself and your team. So either one are good tools to consider, but to go further with them, we often start with the individual again first, looking at their own graph or their own assessment results to show what is their highest natural style, what's their lowest, how does that affect or interact with others on the team. So we'll have them look at what's natural for them before we look at the adaptive behavior, and then they can make some informed decisions about how do I use this information to help me be a better communicator, a better manager, leader, or a better team member. So once we have that established, we focus on, let's look at the value of your strengths. Appreciate the strengths you bring to a team, but yet manage those. Don't overuse them. You know, my mother used to say, don't overstay your welcome. Something true about that, right? So know your strengths, but don't overuse them to the point of irritations on others. And that's safe to say we all irritate somebody else with our strengths. To take it the final couple of steps, we look at how does this play out with how you deal, or the team deals with problems on the far end? How do they deal with relationships and people, or navigating that? How does that affect the urgency or sense of urgency or pace at work and on projects? And then last, following rules and procedures. Who are your more creative type? Who are the ones that are more gatekeepers and more serious by the book? If you know all of that, that helps again to know which roles are better suited to individuals as well in the team. And then once we get all that, we have a chance for them to look at where are they highest on that naturally, where do they need other people around them that have other strengths that they don't have. The last piece of the puzzle we often will take is looking at the whole team together, and that's plotting it out on a wheel so they can see where the team stands, and it might look something like this, where naturally, in this case, this was a executive team of 12 individuals, and you see we have representation in all 4 styles. The interesting thing is to recognize and appreciate those, but also see where does that cause some possible issues or challenges with the team. And then when they're stressed, how do they adapt? So the second shot, same team, is noticing what happens when they're stressed. This team becomes less decisive, a little more analytical, and maybe a little more emotive. So good or bad? Well, it depends. If they're supposed to be decisive and they're not, that could be a big problem. So that's where we would look at what interventions would make sense to help that team be more effective. So all these are tools to help individuals be more effective and thereby help the teams be more effective. If it's something that interests you, we'd be happy to talk to you a little bit further. Our whole focus is helping leaders and teams work together better, be more effective, and make a bigger difference with their mission. That's our mission, to help you support yours. Give us a call if you have any questions, or shoot me an email. I'd be happy to help.